Excellent, excellent. Hey, Rick, it's Lori Alvarez. It's so good to connect with you again. How are you?
Doing fantastic. Great hearing you, and thanks again for having me on.
You know what, Rick? We connected in January, right? You were in my kitchen, physically in my kitchen, and guess what? We did an awesome goals thing. We talked about how we want to get healthy, how we want to be better, how we want to physically improve ourselves over January 2020 to the rest of the year. And here we are, mid-year, things have changed. What do you think? What are you saying?
Got a little crazy.
I know, right?
It did.
It's crazy. I mean, come on, let's say, like, everyone was excited and stoked about 2020 and all that was going to happen. And 2020 kind of took a bomb, right? Where'd we go?
Well, 2020 did, but not everybody did. So I'm going to turn the tables on you and give you some props here.
Here we go.
You are staying true to your goal set. You are staying true to coming in on the weekly, checking on your in-body, staying on top of your nutrition. You are staying on your workouts. You are staying on top of your supplementation. So again, kudos to you because you are leading by example, not only in your profession, but with your family. So with all that being said, yeah, world went a little haywire on us. But the truth is, we still have an opportunity to be in charge of our nutrition, our health, and everything that surrounds that part of our life. Yeah, the gyms might not be open. They are open. We're doing a bunch of other things, but truth be told, we are still in charge and we still have the opportunity to stay as healthy and be as happy and be as productive as can be. I know you're busy out there helping families, helping people selling and buying their homes. So it's not stopped you and it definitely hasn't stopped me.
Yeah, you know what, Rick? It's been kind of interesting. I mean, I know when I had you at my house and we did our client event in January 2020, you were awesome. Like, you brought in the InBody. This is Rick with NutriShop. For those of you who didn't know, Rick, tell them where you're at again so they know who you are.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Rick Rodriguez, NutriShop, Glendora, and Pasadena. You can find us on Google. Very simple, easy to find us.
That's right. I mean, and we had you at the house for a client event, and we were all talking about, like, oh, we want to rock our health goals for 2020. And then things changed, right? In March, COVID-19 hit, right? And everything closed, and people were like, what the heck? We've never, ever dealt with something like this. I mean, where do we go? How do we do this? And so with that said, like, I know personally, I'm just going to go into like my just personal experience from January to March. Like, yeah, I put on a little bit of weight, and yes, things have changed a little. My business is different. I'm working from home. Rick is still available over at NutriShop. His team is still open over there. And so I used to weigh in at my gym, but I switched that, and now I go see Rick over at NutriShop and his team there. And they're supporting me as I had to shift to how I did things differently. And so I really just wanted us to reconnect today because I'm like looking at this and going like, yeah, I'm not where I wanted to be. I mean, you know that, Rick. I come in every Wednesday and complain to you like, it's not what I wanted. Right? And yet,
well, but that's okay. That's okay, and I'll cover that. But go ahead.
And I mean, and yet, like, I know that I am making slow progress forward. So, you know, my numbers show that they go up and then they go down, and they go up and they go down, and you have to focus on the right numbers, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
So, and then it's really our mindset behind everything. So
you nailed it right. You nailed it right there. Again, you might go up and down on certain weeks, certain situations, but the reality is you're leading the charge. Like I said earlier, you are not going to give up. Yeah. And the number more important than anything is the number of, are you happy? Where are you on the scale of happiness? Because weight, body fat, muscle, all those things are just indicators of certain physical things.
Right.
But physical physicality doesn't always drive happiness, doesn't always drive productivity. It should not rule us. Now, is it a contributing factor? Of course it is. But you said it best. When it comes down to the mindset of wanting to be successful, wanting to be the best you can be, wanting to be in charge of your nutrition, your health, your business, your family, there's not going to be really anything that can stop you. Again, we were in a worldwide pandemic. The world shut down. It locked down. And news and everyone is saying uncertain times and all these things. And yet you continued to serve your clients. You continued to be a resource. I purchased another store. I'm on the verge of purchasing a third store. So the mindset of you and I wanting to be the best we can be so we can continue to serve other people to help them be their best, that cannot be taken from us. Yeah. So kudos to you and I. We're going to do a virtual high five right now.
Yes.
And help encourage everyone that even though this is happening, it doesn't have to rule you. Yes, you need to be smart. Yes, you need to abide by the rules. All those things need to happen.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if you have the mindset to win in life, you're going to do what it takes to win in life.
Yes. I mean, Rick, I think the thing that really stands out here from January to now, right? In January, you were physically with me, near me, helping me help move my business forward as I was supporting your business, because I am a big supporter of the health and fitness industry. And I love what you stand for in your store and your staff and everything that you guys believe in, right? And I think the big shift here is that we both shifted to something different. Look at now, it's virtual. You're on my laptop and I'm in my kitchen, right?
Right.
So
100%.
we both shifted our mindset to do what was necessary to keep moving forward towards what we wanted to accomplish. So Rick, was that on the horizon for you to buy 2 new stores this year in the middle of a pandemic?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But the opportunities, came across my desk. Obviously gave it a lot of thought, seek counsel from my mentors, prayed about it. And, just opportunities were there. And it was 2 opportunities that it's tough to say no to.
Yeah.
And so, no, it was not in the plan. And just like the pandemic and the lockdown was not in anyone's plan.
Right.
But you said it best. We made the necessary adjustments so we can actually pivot through this, do what we know that needs to be done so we can continue to be successful and bless other people along the way.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Bless other people along the way. So what would you say, why were you prepared to take on 2 new locations besides the one that you just have? So many are like, ooh, I need to get rid of everything and liquidate and reduce, and yet you're building. What allowed for you to find comfort in that, to continue to build?
Yeah, no doubt. I obviously have strong faith in putting God first and allowing that to happen is first and foremost.
Amen.
And then thank you. And the team around me, I have such a great team, and I thank you for acknowledging them earlier in this talk, but I can't do it without my team. I can't be a one-man man. Right. I can't be in 3 places at one time, going out and networking, going out and building relationships. I just can't do it. So my current staff is amazing. We're continuing to add on to it. And they're the ones who allow me to make these decisions to continue to grow. And it's just like you have a solid team behind you. And that allows you to continue to expand and make additional influences.
Yeah, I would say, and I've got to give a big affirmation to the guys over there and the gals over at NutriShop Glendora, because every Wednesday I come in and they're never short with me. They let me do my weigh-in. They let me give all the verbal words I need to give to process the results that I didn't like, right? And then they give me a plan to go home and implement. And that's what allows for people to succeed, right?
No, 100%. 100%. We have to, again, nutrition's no different than what's happening in the world. You have to be able to pivot and make the necessary changes so we can continue.
Yeah.
As much as there's muscle confusions necessary, you should be doing different workouts so your muscles don't get used to it. Well, there needs to be metabolic confusion. You can't eat the same thing every day in the same portions. It eventually becomes habit, becomes norm, and then your body just slows down and sometimes stops reacting to those changes. And it could be super clean. You can eat the perfect meals, and eventually it becomes a norm.
You know what? It's so funny because, as you know, I went to Vegas, right? And the guys at your store told me before I left, they go, oh, you're probably going to lose some weight while you're in Vegas. And here I am stressing about, oh, I'm not going to. I'm going to eat wrong. I'm going to do everything wrong. And I'm going to come home and be heavier. And they're like, no, it'll probably actually be the exact opposite. And it really was the exact opposite because I took the time to cater to myself and eat correctly, spent time drinking my liquids that was necessary. My body just was nourished during the time that I took off, right? And then you come back and you're like, oh, I'm so busy. I'm working and I'm not eating and I'm this and I'm that. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, your numbers are off. And you're like,
yeah,
I'm not doing the things that are necessary.
Correct. Well, the biggest thing that you did was necessary. You almost turned off your stressors. You were on vacation. So I'm sure you still fielded phone calls and text messages and emails and still did all that.
Yes, of course.
But it was still a little different and wasn't part of your normal grind.
Yeah.
So you supported your muscles with food, you supported your metabolism with nutrients and supplementation, but you weren't stressed. And stress and anxiety and cortisol, it's a real thing. Cortisol is really the killer of muscle and the encourager of fat. And we really need to do our best to control that. And we do that through physical activity. We can do some of that through nutrition. Undoubtedly, supplementation has to be utilized in those situations. And just trying to find that happy balance in life. You and I are the grinders. We're the epitome of grind. Yeah. But we have to find that balance so our body isn't negatively reacting. And stress is a real thing. And unfortunately, there's really no true test on how the body is going to respond to stress. It responds in different ways. Some is, anger, anxiety, lack of workout at all. And typically it's the extremes on either side because you can really never truly do a test on stress because there's a bunch of different types of influence. There's physical stress, there's emotional stress, there's spiritual stress, all those things that our body is fighting essentially to try to deflect them. And again, you and I are going to quit our jobs today to say, all right, well, there's the biggest stressor in life. Let's leave. No, So we just have to control what we can control. Yeah. So by you controlling, enjoying yourself, your body rewarded you. Yeah. And I know, again, you weren't prepared for that, but, with our experience, we see it over and over. It allow our body really is thankful for that.
Yes. 100%. I mean, I can just tell you, like, I look back right now, I literally, right before I went on to have this conversation with you, I'm like, oh, husband, I think I'm going to have a heart attack with as intense as the real estate market is right now. And he's like, no, you're not. Because my job is so intense right now. The real estate market is so intense. Right? Yeah. Things are people are very, very their energy is out the box right now because they don't know what to do with it. Right? And so I feel like people are pressing more than usual. And that's just my personal observation. I mean, what are you seeing on your end in the health industry?
No, I think there is a little bit of that natural stress because, oh my gosh, I can't go to the gym. Yeah. I get that. Yeah. But the reality is if you put a 5-pound can of fruits or vegetables in your hand or a 5-pound dumbbell and curl it, your body doesn't know what it's holding. All it knows is that it's created resistance and you have the ability to do a workout and such. But there's the natural stressors of I have to be in the gym. I have to do this. And that structure is good. But what I'm hoping, and then hopefully this will help them understand that they need to pivot through that themselves.
Yeah.
Because the gyms are not open and there's nothing they can do about that. People to do is get gallons of water or 5 gallons of water and create that resistance. It's the best thing they can do because it's readily available. Yeah. And your body can get a great workout.
Yeah. You know, and I love that. So one of my clients had told me, she was like, Lori, what's it like right now in the real estate market? What's happening? And I said, oh, it's crazy. Everyone wants our attention right now because they don't have anything else to focus on. And she was like, oh, really? And I said, yeah, you know, you don't have the distractions of work per se. You don't have the distractions of the gym and your appointments with friends and family and all of that. So their one thing they can focus on is, I need to buy a house or I need to sell my house. And it's their realtor for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And of course, I'm being a little dramatic, but it is really that intense, right? And so you go, okay. And they were like, oh, no, I don't think that's really what it is. And I said, okay, great. And I said, well, when are you available to see that house? And their immediate response was, well, whenever. We don't have anything else to do. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, you know, right. It's for sure, right? People are looking for things to do. So with that said, we're off track. Maybe we're not where we wanted to be when we made those commitments in January and December and November, right? What do we do, Rick? What do we do today that can move us forward to hit our goals for the rest of 2020? Because everyone I keep seeing is like, oh, who cares? Let 2020 go. I'll restart in 2021. And yet we have 5 fantastic months to still accomplish what we wanted in maybe a very different way. What do you recommend? I mean, look at you. Like, you bought 2 stores, right? Yeah. That was not part of the plan. So what would be your words of encouragement to people with regards to that? And one moment, hey, Facebook, thanks for tuning in. You're gonna have to download the podcast to hear the rest of this interview, or just go see Rick over at NutriShop in Glendora. He'll give you those answers because his team really does do that. And all my podcast listeners, follow me on Facebook. We love you there, and we add so much more. On Facebook, you'll see me jumping in pools and doing crazy house tours and all that stuff. I mean, well, I got pushed in a pool with my business clothes on. That was fun, right? So you're going to see all of that too. So check us out on Facebook. Check us out on the podcast. Download it today. Real Estate with Soul.